Yes, I can hear you.
Great, great. So I'm going to go ahead and get started to welcome all of you so much for being here. And, it's our first time doing this. We know there's going to be little hiccups with the technology, but thank you all for your patience and for joining us on this virtual chat. The chat will be, the meeting will be about an hour and a half. We are joined today by two other DOT colleagues, Sharon as well as Natasha. Sharon is our digital communication specialist. I'll let her say hello.
Hi everyone, it's really nice to meet you all.
And we have Natasha here, who's also a project manager, and I'll let her say hello.
Hi everyone, great to meet you.
And of course, we are joined by DOT CEO, Janet Longmore. So Janet, do you just want to say a quick hello?
I will indeed again say hello to everyone, and I'm really excited to be on this Google Hangout with all of you. This is very much a milestone in the DOT history. So hello and welcome to all.
Thank you so much, Janet. So I'm going to just quickly go over the agenda, which is we're going to do a quick 5-minute icebreaker. And then we're going to hear from Janet about her vision for DOT and some other inspirational things she'll be sharing. And then we're going to have about a 30-minute conversation about the research papers and your research interest that Janet will be leading. And then Janet will be leaving the call after that discussion, and I will stay around to talk to you about next steps in your GIAB participation. I know there's a lot of questions, so it'll be a chance for you to ask me questions as well. So let's go ahead and get started with our icebreaker. I'd like for everyone to take about 30 seconds to say one thing that they're proud of that they did this week. I'll go ahead and start and say, I'm proud that I've been working with DOT to move forward a new gender equality strategy, and I made some progress on it in the last week, so that's one thing I'm proud of. I'm going to go ahead and call out your name just because it's easier that way. So Mira, I know your microphone's working. Do you want to share one thing that you're proud of that you did this week? Oops. Mira, can you hear us okay?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, please go ahead.
You know, as DOT Lebanon, we're working with UNICEF project with youth here in Lebanon with UNICEF here in Lebanon. We're working on integrating new methodologies and technologies for Syrian refugees. So previous week was the end for the first group that I'm working with. Really, I was proud that I saw the difference among their methodology and their look, that they were looking into internet just for fun. Now they look for internet to have resources and whatever things that they may benefit from. So I'm proud of this, that I changed someone's mentality from using internet for fun to use internet for their business and future careers.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Mira.
Welcome.
Let's see, Thomas, if you can hear us okay, do you want to share something you're proud of?
Okay, hello everyone, this is Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Hello?
We can hear you, Thomas.
Okay, I'm gonna start talking about what makes me proud of on what I did on this last week. In this last week, I was able to convince women under our project to start saving so that they can have a better future. And they were able to hear our advice, and they have started saving. They save 50 per month. And after saving, they will take credit from the association that they are saving. So I'm so happy we convinced those women. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Thomas. Okay, let's go with Mwalu. Mwalu, if you can hear us, can you tell us something that you're proud of from this week?
Huh?
Mwalu, can you hear us?
በቃ ስለ ሪሰርች ፔፐር ኒውስ አንብቦ ለምና ስለዚህ ሪሰርች ፔፐር ለለና
Okay. Um, okay. All right, let's try this again. Mwalu, can you hear us okay? I think you need to unmute your microphone. Okay. Okay, looks like, how about Joseph? Are you able to hear us and contribute? Okay, we're having some technical difficulties, so I am going to maybe move along the chat.
So this is Sharon Nguesso, the Digital Engagement Specialist, and if I can quickly say one thing I'm proud of for this week, and as we get to the end of the year this year, is I'm part of the planning committee for the Unconference, and we're thinking up some really great events and sessions that I'll be looking forward to seeing all of you there for. So I'm very, very proud of that.
Thank you, Sharon. Maybe Natasha can also share something.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natasha. I'm brand new to DOT, but really happy to be a part of the group and everything that's happening here. This year, I've been trying to spend I have been spending a lot of effort really trying to improve my language skills, which has been much easier said than done. But just this past week, I finished my first ever novel in French, so I was pretty happy and relieved that that was done.
Thanks, Natasha. So yeah, we're gonna move along, but I'd love to hear if you have a story from the last week, a pride story you want to share. Please put it in the chat box, and we will share them. We will read them as they come in. Okay, so I think it's a good time for us to move along to hearing more from Janet. Janet, I'll let you take the stage.
Okay, thank you so much, Liz, and hello again to everyone, and Sharon and Natasha as well. Hello to you. I will just share. So I have something I'm proud of too. It was as always. My proud moments often have to do with DOT, because DOT is a very big part of my life and my family's life. But we had some wonderful news this week about an opportunity to include several more countries in a large grant that we have with the Canadian government. And I was really proud about that, because it's all about the lesson: if you don't ask, you don't get. And we just thought, what if we asked? Because there's so many countries who want to be engaged with DOT, and if we asked if they would open up the grant. And so it was pretty exciting that the donor decided, yes, they'd open it up and are looking for a proposal from us. So that's pretty exciting, and something that I feel proud about. I'm also very proud to be here with all of you today. I know it's late in the evening for most of you, and I'm imagining where you all are. I've been fortunate to have traveled to every one of your countries. I am sitting actually in my home office. It's morning still here in Canada, and I'm looking out a window at about 5 feet of beautiful white snow. It's about -5 degrees, which is sort of kind of warm for this time of year. And but it is definitely winter. It is definitely winter. And so I actually love winter. It is a cold time of year, but it's a very sunny time as well. And there is a bright sun shining. So I'm thrilled with technology that we can reach each other and have this conversation and meeting together across so many miles in so many different countries. And it's really exciting. I do want to say that the Global Youth Advisory Board and your engagement with it is a definite milestone for DOT for our 15 years that we've been operating. This is an incredible opportunity to pull all of you together to both lay the groundwork for not only the first Global Youth Advisory Board, but ongoing boards that we will see regularly into the future, and also to really be a bridge for certainly yourselves from who you are in your community and in your country to other young people in your community, country, and region, but also to be an advisor to us, to all of us in the DOT network as we're listening to you in terms of your experiences as a young person and the experiences that you know other young people are having in your country, and the research work you're doing, and other ways in which you will be ambassadors, representatives for DOT in your country, community, and certainly in the region and globally. So it's a very, very exciting opportunity. I have dedicated my life certainly to working with young people and believing in their leadership capability to drive change in their communities, positive change. And I believe in each and every one of you, and you know that that is a core tenement of DOT, and a very unique component of what DOT has offered to many countries and many young people over the years. And I think we were ahead of our game if we think about it 15 years ago, believing in a youth-led model of change, meeting young people where they're at, supporting them to be drivers of positive social and economic and educational growth in their countries. And I have to be honest, you know, I look back over the years, and as any social entrepreneur or any innovator in this space, you know that there have been times of challenges. There have been times where it's been perseverance and patience and the strength and support of people in my network and in other networks that has helped, you know, carry forward the DOT mission and the DOT vision, and helped overcome some of the challenges that any person faces starting a new organization, or even starting off in a new social enterprise or a new career. And then I see now, I just came off of a tremendous meeting with all of the country leads from all of our countries in the Middle East and in North Africa, and also in East Africa, and on the continent. And just their expressions of the innovative work that is going on in each of their countries, the partnerships they've brought together, the way young people are leading and driving change in their countries. It's just continues to be very inspiring for me to see this talent that we have in our network, and also just to see the growth and the impact across so many different contexts and cultures. So I am thrilled that we now have a new level of impact that we'll be discussing and building on with all of you. I wanted to take maybe 5 minutes just to talk about DOT going into the future. And I wanted to do this because I'm really interested to hear how, not necessarily today, but going into 2017, how this shifting and evolving DOT model resonates with all of you. Maybe what we talk about to a certain extent this morning could inspire an idea that you might have for some action research that will feed into the work you're doing with the Global Youth Advisory Board, or even something in your personal development and career. But I really would like, as we go into 2017 and the launch, where all of you come together in Nairobi which I think is the end of January or into early February, that you can think as well about the direction that DOT is moving in. I think it's a very exciting direction, and I just wanted to share some of the key components of that with all of you, so you can be thinking about it, because your advice and thoughts are very, very important to me, and I know very important to all of us in the DOT network. So over the years, we have always been an organization that has been a learning organization. We've tested new ideas, different ways of engaging with young women and young men and communities, and always learned from that and listened very carefully to what people in the communities and countries where we work have been telling us about what works and areas that we could improve in. And one of the very big things that has come up for all of us over and over again over the past couple of years, I would say, is the passion and desire that young people have to sure drive change in their communities and countries, but also to really take a leadership role in what I like to talk about is social innovation. And I know all of you know about social innovation and social entrepreneurship, but really to learn more about what does it mean to be a social innovator, and how can we create sustainable social enterprises that will have a lasting impact, whether it is in girls' education, whether it is in health-related matters, whether it is in the digital skills development space. Mira, as you talked about, that shift that young people make to see a way in which digital tools can be resources for them and can help them build skills and improve their opportunities in life. And so it was a subtle shift from saying, what if we at DOT stepped up our game in 2016, 2017, and beyond to look out at 2020 to really envision a movement, a network of daring young social innovators, so young people who've got the knowledge, the tools, the skills to create enterprises that are really addressing what they know are deep community needs in their community. Again, whether it's health or education or water or something to do with preventing young women from dropping out of school and finding livelihoods for themselves. But that the subtle shift that we might make at DOT was much more of an investment in the young leader themselves, in what we've often called the DOT intern or the facilitator, teacher facilitator, the different ways that we've all been and seen young leaders in the communities where we've been working. And stepped back a little bit and supported their ability to be social innovators. What would be new skills and knowledge and tools they might need in order to create social enterprises that were sustainable? So rather than necessarily delivering a program, there still would be programs, what would it mean if the young leaders themselves were the creators of what the programs look like across communities? And could we imagine, as more and more countries join the DOT network, can we imagine ways that we have hubs and nodes of young people who are driving the DOT mission forward, that we have representatives and people in the country, but that even more so, we have a connected network. And we see the seeds of that, in the work we've been doing with DOT, but we really, really are thinking big. I mean, we want to scale our impact because I feel that we can do no less in such a disruptive time when we have displaced people, when we have unemployment reaching very high levels, when we've got climate challenges and other challenges that are facing each and every one of our countries and communities, that we can do no less to really take a stance and say, how can we, through an ecosystem of partners with young people at the core and the center, really drive a networked, greater network model of impact that sees young people building more of those social innovation skills and being social entrepreneurs and innovating around the core dot values and the core dot tenements of our belief in digital, that because we believe digital can only leverage a social innovation, can only make it amplify it, shall we say, can be stronger. Our belief in women as leaders of change and how men and women come together as agents of change as we push to greater gender equality. And so we're looking at making some changes in the space. And when we say change, it's about evolving. I mean, any organization has to be able to respond in an agile way. And so another piece that just again, for you to think about, because I know we're going to get into some other areas today, but a digital solution. So DOT in the digital world, DOT as a virtual DOT. Is it really possible that we could create a digital solution that supports a young person no matter where they are, to be able to engage with the DOT network and be able to create a social enterprise that impacts members of their community, but they're connected, and through this digital solution, they're able to learn more skills about how to take a user-centered approach to designing a solution, how to create and fund and find investment for a social enterprise. What do investors look for in a growing social enterprise? To be able to share content or access services that someone might have that could help you in your social enterprise venture. What would that look like? One of the things that happens to me when I travel around the world into so many countries, DOT countries and other countries, is the number of young people who come up to me and say, how can we do DOT here? I have a young man from El Salvador who's working with gangs in El Salvador say, this DOT is perfect for the work I'm doing. So we're trying to figure out, with your help, a way that we can create a digital solution that is really meets a need, that is not just a fancy app, but really meets a need for the many, 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 many hundreds of thousands of young people who would like to be engaged in the DOT network and in our ecosystem of partners. And I know one of the research pieces that you looked at was our youth-led research on digital voices and meeting young people or youth voices, looking at digital, how young people are using digital tools, and the personas that we generated there, because we're really trying to get a feel for what innovation in development might look like when you introduce digital tools. So increasing our youth engagement, being able to support the many, many young people in new and innovative ways, looking at social innovation and social entrepreneurship, and creating sustainable social enterprises that drive change for young people and their peers in their community, for women and young men, and a digital channel, a digital solution. So these are just three of the really strong vectors that we're exploring as we begin to evolve DOT and grow into many, many more countries. So that is just a very high level of some of the thinking that we as a network of countries and young people and teams of talented people have been doing. I'd like you to just, absorb some of that. We'll have a chance to ask questions and talk about some other things. But the bottom line is, as I said when I kicked this off, that your work and how you can help us as a network. It's not about helping me, it's helping us as a network really ensure that DOT can reach that very wonderful vision of supporting a youth-led movement of daring social innovators, young people who transform not only themselves but their communities, who create opportunity where opportunity might not have existed before, who create hope for themselves and for others. love you to reflect on that. And I intend to stay very engaged in my own way with the Global Youth Advisory Board, with all of you, because your voices are fundamentally critical to ensuring that we at DOT are responsible and are listening carefully as we move forward in this very, very exciting space. So that's, again, high level of some of the direction that DOT's going in. As I said earlier, I live and breathe DOT. You know, we started DOT 15 years ago, and it's very exciting where we're at now. And I continue to be inspired by everyone in the DOT network and by all of you. So it really helps to be very creative in this space, that we can be connected in this way. So I'm looking forward to listening. I want to also thank Liz and Asuma for their wonderful leadership work in pulling all of this together and thinking it through. We've had many conversations, and I know it was a very, very difficult choice to come together with the 6 of you that we now have. We have a very talented group in the DOT network, so I do hope that each and every one of you are very proud, as you should be, of your role and engagement in the Global Youth Advisory Board. And my thanks do go out to the extensive work that Liz and Masuma did. And I did watch the video too, and it was really fun to see. And I saw some of your videos, and also Liz and Masuma. So welcome, welcome. Let us, Liz, I'm going to look to you as the facilitator. Shall we move on, or shall we pause and
yeah,
have
so
some reflections?
Yeah, I think this is, you've given us a lot of food for thought. Thank you, Janet. You inspired us as usual. I'm inspired once again every time I hear you speak and hear about the evolution of DOT's vision. And I'm so pleased you were able to join us today, because I'm sure I'm speaking for the GAB members as well, to say that, you know, hearing DOT's new direction, DOT's vision directly from you really is illuminating. I just want to kind of recap on what you said, which were, you know, big pieces, that we're making a greater investment in the young leader, we're shifting to social innovation, we're looking at digital solutions, we're taking on a more networked approach, and we're really having DOT move in the direction of being a youth-led movement. And to echo what you said, with that shift really happening in 2017, it's the perfect time for us to be launching GAB, because all the GAB members are at the forefront of this youth-led movement. Yeah, so in terms of feedback, Janet, I think what I'd like to do, because we're having some connection issues, is for the GAB members, think about what Janet said. If you have questions, why don't you put them in the chat box, and I can read them. If you have, maybe we'll take 2 questions right now for Janet to respond to, and then we'll move on with the agenda, and the rest of you can put them in the chat box. So I know that Mira's microphone is working, and Mira, I know you were always curious. Did you have any feedback, maybe for Janet, or a question? Oh. Mira, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Okay, I'm hearing now.
Yeah. So what Jane has said now, it's my vision, because I work as a coach at DOT. So we're working on the same page here. We're looking for the solutions that youth may benefit from, to be entrepreneur and to have more research about that. So we're looking for solutions in Lebanon on that side.
Oh, thank you, Mira. That's fantastic to hear. Is there anyone else? I'm going to ask, Thomas, do you have any questions or feedback for Janet?
Yes, I do have a feedback, but I don't have a question for her speech.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, it's nice to meet you. It's nice to hear your voice.
Nice to meet you as well.
Okay, and I like your dedication to to those work and to the development of youth entrepreneurs. And I'm so excited how you are dedicated, and I'm so excited that you take your time to talk with us. And I'm really eager to see working with you on the conductive research on the coming 1 year. And I believe this GYAB or Global Youth Advisory Board will contribute a lot to every country that we are working on. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. I believe as well you will contribute significantly. And Mira as well. It's great. And I know you're on the same page. I've seen the UNESCO social entrepreneurship mapping work that Lebanon has been leading with a coalition of partners. And you know, Marianne has been a long-standing colleague and friend. And I think, there's some really, it's great that we are on the same page. I think we're in the same page on every country and every place where DOT is working. So that's tremendous. Thank you. And thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you for you too.
You're welcome.
And Janet, we have a question here from Joseph. He's saying, will this digital solution incorporate mentorship? I'm excited about where this digital leverage to social problems is heading. So Joseph is very interested in the digital solution, wondering if it might incorporate mentorship.
Very good question, Joseph. And yes, we are exploring that certainly as part of the digital solution. We know we've had feedback about the importance of mentorship for young people, whether they're starting off as entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and that benefit of being able to connect with someone who has experience and is willing to support and share and be open in supporting another to learn from that. But what we're exploring how we can be maybe more creative in the space. One of the things we've learned is mentors can't instantly become mentors in a way that perhaps works as a win-win for both parties. And so are there different, and what I mean by that is you can have a really successful business person, but their ability to translate their knowledge and share their knowledge may be limited in a one-to-one environment, but they might be able to do it if someone is helping them to facilitate their sharing of knowledge. So we're looking at the digital solution obviously as a social network, of a safe and trusted community. And so we're exploring what would we mean by mentoring and how what level and depth of support is required, and at what stage is a different type of mentoring required. So so the answer is yes, and how do we do it in a way that most works for the young people engaged in the network and in their community, and how can we ensure in a virtual, in that digital space, that the mentoring piece works as effectively. And that's certainly an area that we'd love to have in feedbacks. And, is peer mentoring powerful? What does that mean? We have peer coaching, and is there peer mentoring? So definitely, and we're exploring how we can be very creative in ensuring that we have mentoring and coaching support. Great.
Thank you, Janet. I don't see any more questions, and Joseph says, awesome. Very pleased with your answer. So we don't see any more questions in the chat box at this time. I think I want to move the discussion along to more about the youth-led research, building upon the 3 papers that all of you have read. Of course, you read the Youth Voices report that was produced by young researchers in the DOT network, and I hope that was very inspirational for you and kind of gave you a glimpse of what your potential research could look like. It was a big production, and we're very pleased with how that turned out. I also shared with you the MasterCard Foundation's Youth Think Tank report. The MasterCard Foundation has a youth think tank that's similar to the Global Youth Advisory Board, and that it's a group of young people who offer insights on youth realities, and they do research. Of course, what we're doing at DOT is different, and we're hoping to have our own approach and a different shape to what we do here. The other report that you had a chance to look at was Rhetoric to Action, which was produced in collaboration with Restless Development and Youth Policy Labs. So the reason we gave you all three of those reports to look at was really because they're examples of youth-led research. They're all very different. DOTS was very focused on the digital. The MasterCard Foundation report was very focused on youth livelihoods. There was some mention of social entrepreneurship in that report. And of course, the report Rhetoric to Action was quite long and comprehensive and covered many areas from youth participation to livelihoods, but we had to focus on the livelihood section. And there was some mention of social entrepreneurship there. We would like to just ask you a couple of questions. Actually, Janet's reviewed these reports and come up with some questions at the high level that she was interested in getting your feedback on. I know it's going to be challenging with the connection issues. So, Janet, I'll let you ask the questions, and then, you know, if somebody wants to speak up, please do. Otherwise, enter your response in the chat box, and I will read it.
Great, thanks, Liz. Yes, a couple of sort of burning questions. One, yes, related to the work that you did in reviewing the case studies, or when you have an opportunity to review the case studies. But you know, what stands out for you as an area of research or action research that you'd like to delve more into, both from the perspective of your country and what young people are working with in your country, and from the perspective of being able to represent that research in the DOT network or at potential conferences or other convening. So something you're very passionate about. I would love to see if we can do a round table, and maybe it was inspired by the research, or maybe it is something linking back into another question about the wish and hope that you have for young people in your country. If that, what the one thing you could do that would be different. So there are two questions, but they're interrelated, and I'd love to just hear from you what your thoughts and passions are. And as Liz said, either we can sort of do a bit of a round table go around, or post it. Yeah.
So I'm gonna call some names out. Sorry for picking on people. It's just hard with the virtual call. But you are most welcome to type your answer if you prefer to type it, or we have connection issues. So I'm going to start with Mwalu. I don't know if you're still hearing us. And Mwalu, are you?
If you please, can you paraphrase Jane's question, because the connection has.
Sure, I put it in the chat. I put it in the chat box. So the big question was, what stands out for you as an area of research you want to look into, based on what's relevant and what's going on with youth in your country, and also what is your vision for young people in your country. So, Janet, I guess I would say the big question is, what are they passionate about in terms of their research?
Yes, you know, because I'm sure it's linked into a vision for young people, opportunities for them in their country.
Great.
Thank you, Liz. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, Mira, we know that your microphone's working, so do you want to take a try at responding? Oh, is that Mira? Are you there?
I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear because the connection was too bad.
Okay.
I'm not able to read it from the chat box. Just
okay. Let me. So I will try to send that to you in another way, Mira. Let me see, is there anybody else on the call who's able to, who would like to respond to that question?
Yes, this is Thomas.
Hi, Thomas. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, the first let me start by stating what attracts me the most from this research papers. The main thing that attracts me and that is reflected in our community is that the formal education system, in which the formal education system has not produced a hand-on or skilled young people or ready to confront the challenges that they are facing, or the formal education are mostly focused on the theoretical part, not much practical part, because lack of the equipment. Let's say, for example, when I was elementary, when I was studying physics and chemistry, all I know is about the theoretical part, because there was lack of equipment. We couldn't go to the lab and to change that to do that practically. Because of this, many youths are not using their knowledge practically outside the school. Let's say, for example, after I'm educated, if I'm well skilled because of the education, I can create a job by my own. I can do any kind of activity. And the second thing that attracts me from the your think tank report is that the pictures. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
we
the
can hear you.
pictures. I believe
Yeah.
pictures can explain or reflect what we want to say more than words, because those pictures reflects to us how those researchers were committed and how the conversation and how the discussion was held. And I also like the methods of research, the group discussion and the key informant interview, in which both kinds of methods of research helped us to acquire deep knowledge or deep information about the questions that we have towards based on our respondents. And the other question is, I think, what's my vision to all my youth, my young people in my community? Well, to answer this question, my vision is I want to see youths with a nice and smart mindset who are eager to change, because the only thing we have to do in order to transform a society or community is to develop, to make capacity building among the youths, because once the youth are motivated to work, once the youth are motivated to lead their society, then we can see a bright future for the society. So it's better to create a nice mindset on the youths to become entrepreneur, creative, as well as a leadership mind. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. I really liked what you said about creating a mindset for youth. And I think that's very much aligned with what Dot's trying to do. I also like that you pointed out the methodology and the presentation of the report. Dot is keen on using new media, and we have Sharon here who's our digital specialist. So I think that's a direction that we can embrace with this group. You know, let's think creatively about how we want to present the research that you're doing over the next year in visual ways in new media. I think it's a really great thing to kind of think about. Janet, did you have a response?
Yes, I mean, I'm echoing the words you said, Liz, with respect to how we present the research and the use of video and digital storytelling. And Thomas, how you talked about, yes, the powerful pictures, but that because it is about the people and it is about their stories. And to support what Liz says, we are seeking to be very creative in the way in which we share this research, not just within the DOT network, but beyond as well. And I think we've got great opportunities for that. And Sharon's work will certainly support all of you. So I agree.
Fantastic. So we did get a couple of contributions in the chat group. Jen, I'm going to go ahead and read them.
Sure.
And then we can discuss. So we're here from Joseph. He says, I've been thinking about the role my research will play in terms of retooling and reskilling young people for relevance, not just in the employment front, but also in ease of starting and running their startups. I strongly believe we can reach a level where more young people are decently engaged in areas that they care about. He also says, for instance, I feel that all skills towards jobs that are linear, logical, and sequential will soon be replaced by technology. For example, when business schools train graduates to be bank cashiers and tellers, then there is a problem. Technology in Kenya, especially mobile banking, is replacing young people. Is replacing young people in banks in Kenya like nothing else this year. This year alone, the big banks in Kenya have laid off about 1,000 employees, courtesy of mobile banking. So, Janet, I'm sure you have a lot to say about that.
A lot to say. I mean, all of your points, Joseph, are right on the mark. I mean, skilling and Thomas touched on this as well, in education that is relevant, right? Skills that are relevant in a rapidly changing world. We talk about the fourth industrial revolution, the digital disruptions or digital opportunities that are going on. And on the one hand, if you look at it as digital opportunities, so the introduction of mobile money and the M-Pesa program in Kenya and other countries who have brought in digital currencies have opened up incredible new opportunities for entrepreneurs to be able to sell goods in a way they perhaps never could before, an opportunity for people to have a, quote, savings, have it in a different way that is not controlled by the big banks and the institutions. And yet, as you say, then there is job loss, and therefore the digital disruptions are taking away some of the more linear components of regular work. I often think about we need to redefine what work is. Every time we talk about employment and jobs, there's a mindset that just goes into what we know now. And to your point, what work is going to look like and what, quote, jobs are going to be 5 years from now will be radically different. And so what's important is working and supporting youth to be innovative and creative and charting their own path, being resilient. And how do you build those resilient skills and those networking skills? Because I look very positively on it, because I think the borders are breaking down and we have connections across countries, and you can use technology in an innovative way. Another time too, I'd love to talk about digital currencies, which is different, than the mobile money, but I was in South Africa recently and had a fabulous meeting with a group called R Labs, and this is a group that works with young people right in the townships in Cape Town, South Africa, and they've created a digital currency that is all about valuing skills development. So if you as a young person were able to take a skills development course in digital skills or in coding, you would get a certain number of units on your phone for doing that. Or if you volunteered in your community and were working with some young people or children, you would get, you begin to build these units and credits. And then you could use those credits in a different way, whether it was at the youth cafe or whether as you were going for an interview or a meeting and you needed to purchase something at a store, they had brokered partnerships with the stores where you could purchase clothing or something with these units. So this is all about valuing a person's ability to develop their skills, and then and having currency, if you know what I mean, digital currency. So and that's in a digital solution. They've got 20,000 young people on this platform. So I get really excited about that, and I'll use up way too much time, but I think there are some tremendous opportunities, both from what is relevant, thinking into the future, and the skill sets that allow young people to be resilient and adaptable and build their own skills in a fast changing world. And then, yes, what is the impact, of digital currency, blockchain, all the exciting things that are going on there that are really going to disrupt. And yet there are massive opportunities for us to all think about work and entrepreneurship and business and social business differently.
Thank you, Janet. Great response. We also have a comment here from Mwalu. I'm just going to read it. She says, I am passionate about my community in the area of research that I want to look into concerns personal rights that affect the participation of young women and adolescent girls through improving employability skills, because most of them are vulnerable, and it is crucial for them to attain sustainable livelihoods that are secure and productive, which in turn leads to higher level productivity for my country. And I'm more interested focusing on young adolescent girls and young women because they are the most economically vulnerable groups. In Tanzania, despite the fact that girls in various economic activities for income generation, they're still living in deep cycles of poverty and with limited access to entrepreneurship and education. So Janet, comment about importance of working with young women, adolescent girls.
Well, that certainly resonates with me. Many, if not all of us in the DOT network, that one of the commitments that we've made as an organization is to increase our work with women and girls and increase resources and investments in this area. I know that in the Country Leads call that I was on earlier today, that Elgar Dawson, who's our country lead in Tanzania, talked about a collaboration that DOT Tanzania has joined that is applying for funding under an initiative called Leave No Girl Behind, and they're working with Plan and with others. So I so agree with you, and it's what I also like about the way DOT approaches working with women and girls is in a way that is a joint effort. So it isn't just about women working with women and girls. It is about women and men working together and understanding the approach and trying to really understand more about what gender equality means and what women as change agents and young girls as change agents, how they can overcome some of the challenges they're facing and then become change agents. So it's, and DOT has, I believe, taken some real leading strides in that area, also in the area of digital support for young women, whether it's a Girls Got IT, or Girls Got It in Lebanon, coding work in Ethiopia we've done with young girls. So it's very close and dear to all of us. So I think that's tremendous. And what a nice balance that we're seeing coming out from all of you about the way we'll be approaching your research. This will just give us incredibly deep insights into very important areas.
Thank you, Janet. I want to share a comment from Mira. Mira says, my vision for young people is to have a great atmosphere that they can choose whatever they want to be, highlighting on the major fields that they can follow, especially for young girls. Relating this to research makes this easier and more simpler. So this also echoes something that Mira said in her bio, and her quote that she submitted was talking about creating an enabling environment for youth. And that I believe the quote that Mira said was that youth have all the potential and ability they need, but what they lack is opportunity. So a response to that, Janet?
Yes, I mean, it's again, it's just so tremendous to see all of your leadership and passion in this area. And Mira, I agree that it is about the opportunity. And one of the things we're working on at DOT, and you'll see this come out before the Youth On Conference, which is being held in Kigali in May, but is a new look to our website that will be much more focused on engaging young people and supporting in some new language around DOT's work. And one of the big taglines that resonates with so many of us is create your opportunity. And it's really, it is about that. And so people and young people being able to see the opportunities that are around them and then have those skills and develop skills so that they really are creating opportunities. It links back into what we were just talking about with respect to Joseph's comment, about the changing world of work. If the jobs aren't there, and they're not, so let's be honest, how do you create your opportunity? And how do you make that, to your point, Mira, be what you want to do because you're passionate about it, and that means you will have more enjoyment in your day-to-day life in doing and following your opportunity. There are so many challenges, we know, but what I like is that the commitment is there to explore what that means and what are those barriers, and then how do we navigate around that and support young people in creating their own opportunities.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you,
especially
Jen. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mira.
Especially engaging women in STEM. We have
Mm-hmm.
lack here in Lebanon. People look as engineering faculties. Only we have men engineering faculties. Women don't choose to be an engineer, for example, because we have this mentality that women or girls can't pursue their education as engineers or whatever. They go for teaching or business. So it's a major block that we have to highlight on, and to open opportunities for women and girls in that issue.
Exactly. I recently watched a really great TEDx talk by a woman who founded an organization that teaches coding with young girls. But the point was that it was about young girls and young women recognizing that they can be daring, they can be brave, they can take risks, they can move into spaces like engineering or other areas where it may not be seen to be a space where women normally are, but so it's that combination, right, of the skills, but also the attitude, right, and getting more role models. But I agree. Again, I think that building in STEM and moving again for where the world is changing and the work that we need to fully engage with more women and girls.
Can I add something?
Hello.
Hi there. Yep.
This is Samson.
Oh, hi, Samson.
Yeah, I'll just like to add a few things to what my colleague has talked about. That is gender.
Mm-hmm.
It really resonates with what I also have witnessed in Uganda, and it's what we are looking forward to. And if you could allow me to just give a quote from from one of the research papers you gave us to read, and I will be glad. There is this statement that I got from the research we had, and it relates to Youth Think Tank report. This quote by someone called, I do not pick his name well, but this is what he says. While this is a pervasive challenge across all locations, it's more prevalent in rural areas. As a young farmer from Soroti, Uganda sees it, young women cannot flourish in business. They are usually viewed as providers of casual family labor, which has caused some young women not to think of any potential business that can help them in the future. I think this is a real mentality that is in Uganda, and I believe it might be everywhere. So I really do support what my colleague has mentioned about incorporating gender and looking forward for girls and working towards enabling them as young as girls and as women to be able to take opportunity and utilize every opportunity. And that is our dream, and that is what we look forward to. And I believe, Janet, that is what I do support for you to do.
Wonderful. Okay, Samson, we're in it together. Okay, for sure. Not well, all of us are. So it's tremendous to see that that strong commitment.
Thank you, Samson. That's a really great point. And I saw that in the chat you also mentioned an interest in financing opportunities for youth and for women. We only have a short amount of time left with Janet, so I'm going to take note of these other questions that people have raised and points, and maybe we can revisit them at a later time. I also wanted to give Regine the opportunity to respond to the question because I believe she wasn't having internet connection before. Regine, are you able to connect with us? Okay, let me just check here to see. Regine, are you able to speak? Okay, it looks like we're having some trouble getting Regine, but I know she was very interested in sharing her perspective as well. And in Walu, we didn't have a chance to hear from her, although she was present earlier in the call. So Janet, I know we're running out of time with you. I think this is a good time to break and to say goodbye. And I want to thank you very much for joining us for this hour.
Oh, well, thank you very much as well. I thank all of you for your insights and your passion and commitment, and really excited to be working together. Going forward, 2017 is going to be a great year, and we're really looking forward to your leadership and engagement. So enjoy the upcoming time, and I know you'll all be together in January in Nairobi soon. And Regine, if you get a chance, maybe it was in the text or not, but I'd love to hear via email or whatever works what your passion for young people in your country and some of the thinking that you're doing as well. I've taken note of everyone else's, and I look forward to really hearing more and to working with all of you. So thank you very, very much, and thank you for what you're doing for DOT.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Thank you for you too for your time.
Okay, and bye for now. Okay.
Bye, Janet.
Thank you, Janet.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Janet.
Bye-bye to all.
So everyone, stay on the call. We're gonna do another 20 minutes with just the rest of us here.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed hearing from Janet. It's always a joy to hear from her. And yeah, if Regine, I'm sorry we didn't.
I met her before. She's great. She's a great role model.
It's true. Thank you, Mira. If anybody after this call, if you think of more questions or you want to connect with Janet, feel free to send me an email or post your comments on the Google community, and we'll make sure that we circulate that back to her because she's definitely wants to know what all your visions are. I want to just take a few minutes to talk about the next steps for GAB and also give you an opportunity to ask us questions. So obviously the next step is that we have to get your tickets for Nairobi. I hope you're all excited about Nairobi. Mira, I know that you've already started your visa. We're starting the visa process for Thomas. The rest of you, I don't believe need visas, so you're okay. But all of you should be getting your yellow fever vaccination cards. If you don't have that already, you'll need to get that. I will be connecting you with your local coordinators over the next week or right after the new year, right after the Christmas break. The local coordinators will help you with logistics and other things and also be of support to you if Masum and I aren't able to assist you with certain things. But just to let you know, any kind of big financial request you have, for example, I know we had a request about internet access. Please send that request to me and Masuma, and we will look within the HQ Global Youth Advisory Board budget to see that we can fulfill the needs that you have to fulfill your duties as Global Youth Advisory Board members. I have raised the internet issue with the local coordinators, and we're trying to figure out a solution for all of you because I know it's been challenging. So Samson and Mwanu, I've already connected with your coordinators, and we're looking at an internet package of some sort that we can help you with. Thomas, I'm talking to Solomon to see if we can do something for you as well. So thank you for your patience. I hope we get that resolved soon. Yes, the other thing is anything associated with transportation. So Mwalu just asked, is there any transport reimbursement for taxi? If you're taking a taxi to get to the airport or anything related to GAB, save your receipts, you will get reimbursed. The way that the reimbursement is going to work is we will give you your honorarium, which is different than a stipend, but essentially it works like a stipend. You're getting $800 Canadian dollars for the year. At the beginning of the quarter, we're going to disperse $200 to you. So that will be your cash that you can use for taxis and other things. But then at the end of the quarter, at the end of the month, save your receipts, and you'll get reimbursed from the local office. And we're going to explain the processes with the local coordinators and with you. So don't worry, you will get reimbursed for any funds associated with GAB travel and research activities. The GAB term started December 1st, but as you know, we were slow to get the contracts processed and all that. So we are trying to get you your first disbursement of the honorarium before your Nairobi trip. So hopefully the second week of January, you should be getting your funds. Please be patient with us because it's a little bit slow right now with the new year and the holiday. Otherwise, you should be expecting it at the beginning of the quarter so that you can then have the cash that you need on hand to pursue your activities. Were there any questions about the honorarium or kind of the financials?
Yeah, I have something to mention. Here in Lebanon, the visa, I did the visa. I have paid $120 for the visa rather than the ticket. So should I talk to Marianne or should I talk to you or whom?
Yeah, thanks for that, Mira. I think we would get you reimbursed through Marianne, but let me talk to Marianne and Heather, and we'll find a way. Lebanon's a little different because Lebanon's not part of the Digital Livelihoods Project, so the way we are handling finances there are slightly different. So I have taken note of that, and I'm going to talk to both Heather and Marianne to see the fastest way to get you reimbursed.
Okay, by the way, I can scan the receipts for you.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's only fixed for you.
Okay, so Marlo had a question. The contract that was offered, is it renewable or only fixed for a year? So this is our first year that we're doing GAP. Because we want to give an opportunity to as many youth in the network as possible, we've limited it to 1 year. So your term will be December 1st, 2016 till November 30th, 2017. I think we would love to keep you on for longer, but the idea is that we want to be able to offer another opportunity to a new group next year. So for now, it's a 1-year term.
Hello, Liz.
Yes, hi, Samson.
Yeah, this is Samson once again. My comment in relation to this initiative is the comparison, creating a comparison, a basis that next year when another team comes in, they will be able to have a background that last year, in the last cohort, this is what happened, these were the findings. And so in the second cohort, this is what we found out. And it looks like there is either a difference, a positive difference in what was researched about, or a negative difference in what was researched about. Because my concern with researchers is that they seem to be presenting similar reports. They seem to be coming up with similar results. As I read through the report by the youth think tank for MasterCard, and then from rhetoric to actions, I also still found some of the results were similar. I just thought to myself, can't we do something much more different that brings out the difference, that shows where things have changed and where things haven't changed. I relate this with the point that has been repeated about um, the issue of formal education, that it can't produce the results that people need. So I just pray that we can have such a system where research is able to show that there has been a difference from this to that, and we are positive about it. However, I'll also request, besides this other support given to do this work, how I wish would be issued, particularly maybe identity cards, so that when I begin my research work and I move to a group of young people, I am able to identify myself as a person who is carrying out research, trying to understand young people and also be a voice for them, that they are not able to give me so many questions, give me challenge to explain myself. And two, I think it gives a basis for people to understand, yes, I think these people are doing something that is so valuable.
Thank you very much, Samson. I think you raised really excellent points. I love that you brought up, wanting to explore new areas of research that haven't been addressed by these reports. I agree with you. There's a lot of similarities across the reports, and we want to be able to say something that's different. So what's similar, what's different, what are the patterns saying? I think we're really hoping that we can get to unique and different viewpoints through the research questions that all of you come up with. I have complete confidence that this group will come up with very interesting angles to explore. And part of the reason we gave you those reports was so that you can see what literature already exists and what you want your literature to look like that's different. And it's fantastic. You're already thinking about how you can produce something that's of value, that's different, that's than what's already out there. The second point you raised about identity cards and being able to identify yourself as an interviewer, I think is a really good point. And yeah, let's figure out a way to do that, because certainly we want all of you to be seen as legitimate interviewers and youth leaders in your communities. So we are here to support you, and I think that's a great idea to do those cards.
Okay, please.
Any other questions?
Hello.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi. I have issue with the connection problem. I've sent you an email. I don't know whether you read it or not, but I use WhatsApp and other social medias like YouTube or other social medias through only Wi-Fi, not the normal data. So I don't know what I have to do.
Yeah.
But Gmail, through normal data, I use the Gmail, nothing else.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. I did get your email, and we know that Ethiopia is in a unique situation as well. I'm working with Solomon to see what we can do to get you more regular internet access, and hopefully we'll have a solution for you soon. But thank you for raising that. I think that the three countries that were having issues were Uganda, Tanzania, and Ethiopia. So I'm prioritizing this issue and trying to get it resolved for you, because we certainly don't want it to limit your ability to participate in this board. And hopefully I'll have some answers for you soon.
Thank you.
Sure. So if we don't have any more questions, I guess, about kind of logistics and other things, I'd like to talk to you guys about the homework and kind of, well, not homework, I should say more the assignment that's coming next. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for producing your videos, for being responsive over WhatsApp and over email, for reading the reports. I know it was a lot of work for you all to do, and I know that you are students and you work full-time and you have lives outside of GIAB. So we really do appreciate that you took the time and the effort to invest in preparing for this call and preparing for your role. It definitely demonstrates that you are taking it very seriously and you're committed to DOT's goals. The next step is that we are going to be sending you an assignment to look at over the next 2 weeks. So during the holiday break, we're asking you to do a literature review of youth and social entrepreneurship, particularly in your country. So for the next year, the big theme we'll be exploring is youth and social entrepreneurship. Within that theme, we're looking for you to develop your own research questions. We're also looking for you to bring out new insights about youth and social entrepreneurship, and you can take many different angles to this. As Janet said earlier, we can look at this from the digital end of things. We could look at this from gender. We could look at this from financing perspective. So please don't feel limited in this topic. It's a big topic, but we are looking for you to be creative with it. So that will be your first assignment, is to do some collecting of literature and reading about youth and social entrepreneurship. I will be sending out the assignment today. The second piece of the assignment is we'd like for you to interview or connect in some ways, maybe it's a phone call, with at least, if possible, 3 social entrepreneurs in your community. And we are hoping that you can do this before you come to Nairobi. The reason we're asking you to do this before you come to Nairobi is because it's your first initial research and collecting data. And when you come to Nairobi, you'll be able to share insights with each other and see patterns in what you found in your exploration. I do want to say, we're setting big challenges for all of you. If you have trouble getting the assignment done or other challenges, we are here for you. Please contact us and we'll do what we can to assist you. We will adapt, the activities as necessary, but we hope that you can do your best to fulfill these assignments prior to the Nairobi trip on January 20th. I will be sending it out today. If you have any questions, please do email me. Are there any immediate questions regarding those assignments?
When is the submission date?
So for the literature review, Thomas, we're looking at having you submit your findings by January 4th, I think we said. But it's basically that you would be reviewing articles and then creating a one-page sheet or less with your findings. And then for the interviews, we're hoping you can complete them before January 13th.
Okay.
Hello, Liz.
Hi.
That might be tight for me. In the days ahead, I'll just only spend Christmas, but the following day, that is 26th, I'll be out in the field carrying out research on governance and quality of governance and democracy in Uganda for Afrobarometer. There's a research organization that does that. And I'm part of the team that is going out for the data collection, which is going to take us quite some time, and I'll be in rural areas, particularly. For if it takes me so time, about 10 days. So it will limit me with internet access. I must say it might delay on my side, particularly because of those things. And because I'm going to go to rural areas, it will be hard for me to go with my laptop because one, challenges of access to internet, two, risks of moving with gadgets to rural areas where you're not sure of the security of the area. So I really have a challenge with those deadlines, but I will be able to do my best.
Thank you, Samson, for sharing that. What I suggest is, why don't you look at the assignment that I send out and take a look at it, see what you think is possible, and then let's talk over email or WhatsApp as to what you think you can manage before the Nairobi launch. We certainly understand that we all have limitations in terms of your working and other considerations. So we'll work together to make sure it's manageable.
It's okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so if you think of questions after you get the assignment, you're always welcome to email us if you have issues, if you need clarification. So please do that this week after you've reviewed it. We have about a little less than 10 minutes. So I want to just share a couple of other things. The first piece is that unfortunately I will no longer be your GAB coordinator as of January 13th because I will be taking some time off to have a baby. But
That's good.
and I'm very sad to have to say goodbye. But I'll be back in August.
Wow. After a long time. Wow. But all the best to you.
Thank you, everyone. I really enjoyed working with you on GAP, and I've been working on it with Musima for the last year. So this is a big passion for me, and I really, loved getting to review all your applications and seeing your videos. And I'm going to be following you from afar, but I will be back in touch with you in August. So by the time you're finishing up your term in August or wrapping up your research project, you'll be hearing from me. What that means.
Wow.
Say hi to your kid.
I'll send you a picture on WhatsApp.
Okay, I'll be happy.
So what that means is Natasha is going to be taking over the role of co-coordinator with Masuma. And unfortunately, Masuma couldn't join today, but you will get to know Natasha over the next few months. She's lovely. You will really enjoy her. And Sharon and Natasha will be joining you in Nairobi. So we are going to have them do a video potentially in January, just like Amy Masuma did, so you can feel like you know them a bit better. And yeah, so I think maybe Natasha and Sharon, do you guys want to say a little bit more about yourselves? Okay, so I'm going to pass the mic to Natasha now.
Hi again, everyone. I'm so excited and happy to be here. Since I've had the opportunity to join GAB a couple of days ago, I've been watching your videos and I've been so impressed and inspired by your enthusiasm and commitment to supporting fellow youth in their countries. So I'm happy to be part of this and help and support in whatever way I can. I've been working with youth for several years. Before DOT, I was with Right to Play, another NGO that supports children and youth empowerment communities. So I'm excited to be still in the same vein and looking forward to meeting all of you in person in January. And I'm sure lots of fun and hard work will come from there. Hi again.
Nice meeting you, Natasha.
Hello again, everyone. Okay, so this is Sharon Nyangweso. If you're part of our Facebook group, then you know who I am because you see me posting and you probably know the activities we do on the group. I'm really excited to meet with you guys in Nairobi. I'm from Nairobi, so I think it'll be very exciting for me to see how you all react to my home city. Hopefully, you'll all enjoy it. I'm supposed to be meeting you too. I think so just a bit about myself, I am the digital engagement specialist. So I get to post on the internet all day for work. So if you guys like doing the same thing, I think we'll get along very well. For Nairobi, I think if I can say just one thing, come excited, come prepared to have a really good time, and come prepared to do some really big thinking. I think between the 6 of you, we have some incredible young people, and I won't be surprised if one day you guys will be running something big or maybe president of somewhere. And when that happens, please do remember us. And, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all in Nairobi.
Great. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Natasha. I'm going to wrap up the call now. It's been an hour and a half. Thank you all so, so, so much for your energy, your time, your contributions. I'm really, really excited about what you're going to accomplish over the next year. I'm sad I'm not going to be with you for the next, well, starting in mid-January. I won't be with you for the Nairobi launch and for your initial months, but I will see you on the other end, and you are in very good hands with Natasha, Sharon, and Masuma. And as Janet said, we are all so excited about the work that you're going to engage in. And yes, you are our pioneers in DOT's youth-led movement. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We will be in touch soon.
Thank you. Have a nice night or day.
Thank you too, Liz. I just also want to say this to all my friends with whom we're working on this. Guys, let's work on it. Let's set a standard. Let's do something that is quite unique, as you say, as it's said, and let's leave a standard that the rest will come in and will build upon.
Great. Okay. Well, those are great ending words, Samson. I love how you ended it. And yeah, we're going to have a great year ahead. So thank you all again. And we look forward to being in touch and seeing you in Nairobi and seeing what research you produce. So have a good evening and talk soon.
Thank you. Have a good evening. I mean, a good morning.